Alright, now we're ready to give ourselves something to shoot at in the first place. And how are we going to do that? We are going to create a class called enemy, which we are going to inherit from in a blueprint. We're also going to give it a little bit of rotation so that it looks a little more alive than just an asset just sitting in the scene. And we're going to spawn them at an interval so that we can consistently have something to shoot at. So let's go to File, Add Code to Project, and we'll inherit from Actor. We'll call this class Enemy. It's going to generate the projects. I'm going to select No, don't edit the code now. I'm going to close my editor, and then I'm going to reload and rebuild so that the editor knows that my class exists. So now that it's in there, I'm going to hit F5 to rebuild. I'm building from source. You might just have to close and then reopen your editor typically. Alright, so now we're back in our editor, and we can now create our blueprint. So what we're going to do is, from wherever folder you're saving your stuff, I'm saving it in my project assets folder. Right click or click new, right click in in empty space, sorry, and then you'll hit blueprint, and we'll inherit from our enemy class that we just created, and we'll call it BP enemy propane because it kind of looks like a propane tank. And then we'll save that in, and we'll open it up, and we'll give it a static mesh. We're going to use one of the starter content shapes, shape wide capsule. And we're going to give it a material. So if you go down to rendering under details, you might not see what I have here because I pulled it down. But if you click this little thing here, it'll pull it down, and you'll just hit on an element, or a material element, and you'll click on that little sliver, which I'll open up a little bit, and you'll hit none, but you'll come down to tech panel here and click it, and now as you can see we have materialized our object here. So now that's all good, but what we need is we need a capsule component so that we can register collisions on this guy. So we'll move him down, or sorry, we'll move the capsule up, and we'll change the half radius to about 70 and 55 so that we encompass the entire thing. Maybe move the capsule down just a bit like that, maybe at 50, and we'll compile and save that. And that's pretty much all we need right now. So what we'll do is we'll come out of here, we'll close that down for a sec, and we will, let's add some rotation to it right now. And so let's open up our enemy class. We'll close that, I accidentally opened that, and in protected, we'll give it a constant float, and we'll call it rotation, const rotation value, and we'll give it about 20. We're also going to give it a virtual void tick, because we're going to need to, tick is basically update, and we'll just pass in delta seconds, and we will create the implementation for it. Now before this can tick, we need to set its primary actor tick, can ever tick, we need to set that to true so that the engine will actually run this update function for our object. And in here, this will update at whatever the delta seconds is. It's a variable frame rate as far as I know. for updates. You can set fixed updates for physics and stuff, but I'm not going to cover that right now. And just to give it a simple rotation, we'll make an F rotator, rotation, current rotation, and we'll set that to get actor rotation. So now that we have that, we can do current rotation.yaw, which is around your Z-axis. So you're going to be spinning, much like if you pick up a pencil and you put it on its end and you just roll it through your fingers. That's basically what's going to happen. And then we'll set that to plus equals const rotation value times delta seconds, so that it updates with in concurrence with the update itself. And then we'll just set the rotation back to current rotation. So if we compile all this as we have it now, alright, so now that we are in our game, let's take our blueprint, let's just shove it in the scene, and let's hit play. There you go. He is definitely rotating now, so we have our updating blueprint. So I'm going to leave it at that for this tutorial right now. In the next tutorial we're going to actually start spawning these things at an interval using a timer that's built into the timer manager that's built into the engine, and we'll start shooting at them, and then we'll start destroying them and making them explode. Explosions.